Hello and welcome back to Chi Time, and this evening I have with me Barefoot Doctor. Welcome.
Thank you.
So we're here for the Conscious Living event that Clara Apollo is running, and you're going to go on shortly and talk about the very mechanics of enlightenment.
The very mechanics of enlightenment. I don't know why I called it that, but what I was thinking.
You had to name something, didn't you?
No, I know the mechanics of enlightenment. That's what I do, But the very bit. I think it was to say, look, this is really important. These are the very mechanics, not just the mechanics. These are the very ones.
So we had a chat on the Chi Time radio show about this very subject. And so what I'd like to talk to Stephen about this evening is about one of my passions, and I believe one of yours, which is that music is medicine and making medicinal music. And you indeed very kindly let us have access to that track that you've done with Basement Jaxx, that Big On. We're getting great feedback from that. It's affecting people and in very positive ways. And I found myself, it sort of entered me into other dimensions, which I guess is what it's all about. So where are you at with your music medicine project at the moment?
Well, it's my main thing. I mean, it's what I spend most of my time doing. I mean, it's not like you'd imagine it though, because I like being discreet about it, mostly. And rather than calling it medicine or healing of any kind, I'm personally much more interested in what happens in the dance hall, clubs, parties. I spent a lot of time in Ibiza and Berlin and so on. And I love that magic that happens on a good night. It doesn't always happen when a crowd just, you get this cohesion, this soul cohesion, and out of that this beautiful celebratory atmosphere of everybody. This is what life's all about. Not all that nonsense we worry about all day. It's this, us joining and knowing that we are these magnificent beings. And you can't contrive that with yabba yabba and like all the rest of it. It comes because the tunes are doing it, the people are feeling it, and so on. So what my thing is you take you go within the parameters of what is called in the club world. I then use frequencies, and I've been doing this like 35 years, so I'm quite practiced at knowing what's moving. I mean, I'm not a scientist, I can feel it. So what's actually, apart from having funk, it's got to have, and soul, it has to have the vibration that makes you literally feel lovely in these different parts of the body. Because of the Taoist training, we were discussing this before, the three big burning spaces, and how they control everything about you, your spirit body, your physical body, your emotions and everything. That there are certain frequencies which affect, obviously the bass register affects you in the belly, the mids affect you in the heart, so does the bass to some extent, and the tops get you in the middle of the brain. So the tops clear you out from your kind of madness. The middles make you feel warm and loving and loved, because that's what we want, to be included in the family. And then the bottoms down here make you feel like, oh, that's usually that, yeah, come on, let's go, because that's, we love all that, don't we? That's what dancing's all about, that's what life's all about. It's what drives us, is that thrust, into the new.
Yes. And
I've got a lot of techniques that I developed over 35 years of how to manipulate sound waves in a cool way, I don't mean in a nasty way, and give them that edge and that rhythm and that vibe that works. And this latest project, I'm actually starting a record label called Phonic Tonic to be able to release a series of different projects that I'm either producing or I'm involved in, or that are not me at all. And we'll be releasing the meme, it's called, thing that Felix did, the Basement Jaxx guy. But that's unusual. That's no beat, or the beat in it is very discreet. It's not an overt beat. The reason I made that was because of the Big On event. So I wanted a sound carpet over which people could so hold them in tune, hold it, and give it dynamics, and give it. But also because what I was doing was miking up the audience and feeding that back through a delay and a picture, so you get this undertow underneath the human humming, but to let all that sit on this bed, and then you can jam over it, because there is, if you can percuss well, there is a beautiful 7/8 rhythm that's going on there really fast, and because that's the worst thing is getting bored going on, because dude, it is boring after a while. So it's like giving it that very subtly, it gives it the dance. And so when I was on stage, I was like, when you're possessed by spirits, in that, it was almost like voodoo, it was beautiful, man. Really cool.
Going back to your shamanic roots.
Yeah.
So, but did you, when you first started doing music, was it drumming that you first did? Was that, or what?
It was the first thing I did as a project, as an event. It was called the Drum Off.
Okay.
It was back in 1984 when I got back from New Mexico.
Right.
Very inspired by, because I lived with the Native Americans for 4 years, so I was very inspired by the powwow drumming circles. Because my dad was a drummer, I grew up being able to drum from tiny. So they used to let me join in, and I was good, you know. So I'd give it a bit of song, a bit of fun there. Because their thing is beautiful. It's like it's very lazy rhythm that just about hangs together. And I used to think they were talking and saying things. I remember saying to my friend Sonny Spears, "What's it all mean?" And they said, "Nothing, it's noise."
Yeah, it's just sound. But that gets back to sort of making natural sound with your voice. It's a very healing thing.
Yeah, very. I mean, just go. That is a beautiful one. Because the loosens your throat up. Mm-hmm. And it cuts your nonsense out of your head. Mm-hmm. So I came back to London. I was working with the Actors Institute in New York, who taught performance in a really enlightened way. They're brilliant. It was actually Dan Fossey. It's probably why I said Posse, because I was rhyming. I'm a compulsive rhymer for an old timer. And I worked with them for a couple of years in honing performance skill. And in that time, I did my first gig was in Greenwich Village, and then basically it's me and a little troupe of drummers, a Brazilian guy, a Phil Collins type of English guy, and a really cute little dude on bongos, and then a sampler, a guy called Newsly playing all kind of weird sound effects, and then there was a clown doing weird not so stuff around it and all that, and it was called Drum Off. We used to play it, and then we brought it back to England and played it at the Whirly gig.
Yeah, the Whirly gig, I remember them, up in London,
yeah.
The Rainbow Churches.
Yeah.
All sorts.
So and that then, because I was working with an electronic backdrop to the drumming, because to give it a bit more sound effects and tone, I got a bit bored of the noise of all the drums, and because I was in the studio making the stuff, well, actually, they have to make music because it's actually a lot quieter and controllable and
more melodic, and then you get all those different frequencies coming through, don't you?
Yes, exactly. And that was the beginning of the electronic era, really, early 80s. So that, you know, in a big sense, and that's why I had to deal with Polygram. That's how I met Tim, because he was co-opted onto my label.
Tim Wheater.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it all kind of came from there, really. And then I had to develop voice, because a lot of the clubbing thing had moved on, and my forte developed into holding an audience on the mic with beats. And that's mostly what I've done in Ibiza. When I do gigs there, that's generally what it is. So, and it's quite subtle. I'm like a human sample. So, like, I did one in Rome recently. There's 1,000 people, and nobody knew what to expect. There were about 5 of us on stage, and on purpose made it really discordant and arrhythmic, really weird noise as they're walking in. So they're all walking in like that. Like, what's going on here? What's going on? And I started going like on the mic from the back of the stage. This is a party. Everyone will be happy. Relax. This is a party, and stop. And then the noise would carry on, and they all kind of, it was weirdly in one purpose. And bit by bit, we put it into a beat. They're very great musicians, actually. We pulled it into a beat. And once it was cooking, I kept going, this is a party, everyone. Until it really was a party, everyone was going wild. And it only took 20 minutes, because we made it a thing, no drugs, no drink. But it was just an experiment.
Yes.
We had 1,000 people who were quite open-minded to doing it without drugs and that. And they were as high as any crowd I've seen in Ibiza that were off their heads. It was beautiful, really lovely. So
you don't really need to mix music with drugs, you just have to do the right music.
Yeah, the music's the powerful thing, but I think it's not the way that you don't need to, it's just people do. And you have to work with that. I think I've tried it the other way. I've had friends who try to do nights where you're not allowed to, and all everyone does is rebel and do even more. So it's much better to go like, you do whatever you want, it's totally cool. But what I'm going to do, and what I've found as a result, people come up at the end and go, wow man, that was amazing. I didn't even drink all night. I didn't even feel like drinking. You get that, rather than go, don't drink. It's much better this way.
Yeah, no, sure, not too many rules. But what I mean by you don't need to, you don't actually, in order to get that...
To get high? No. The drugs have got nothing to do with getting high. I think they just serve as a sort of an anaesthetic or a stimulant to jolly up the process of getting high. But the getting high is actually, but ironically, comes from going deep. That is the key. High is not just a frivolous, it's about, I'm grounded. You know this from Qigong, I'm grounded, I'm in touch with the presence that's informing this whole universe from deep inside in the back. And from that, I see that everybody around us is the Tao, or the Buddha in disguise. I see that we are in this amazing mystery. And there is high, I'm high. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Look at this, we're alive. Look at this. Rather than going numb on it, oh yeah, I know what this is just a hotel, this is just a club, this is just me and with a group of people doing this thing again. That jaded thing, it's like being what the Zen guys call beginner's mind. And I think drugs might help people a bit in that. Mostly, people take drugs, I think, because they're shy. It's really that simple, same as alcohol. They think, all right, I'm going out and I've got to be somebody, I've got to really join in and make a thing and have to talk to everybody and dance, and I'm a bit inhibited and I'm shy and I'm worried people aren't going to think I'm cool enough. So they take the drugs to be like confident and up and fun, excuse me, and all of that stuff. To me, I don't mind feeling awkward, it doesn't bother me. If I'm feeling shy, I don't want to take something to make me feel up because I don't mind feeling shy. So what, you know? And also I found when you go out on a mission, or a secret one, your own, to make everyone happy, that's enough to keep you back. So it doesn't matter what you're doing, it's not about you, it's about you making everyone feel good. Even if you're not doing a gig, just as an audience member, if you're a bit shy of going to, because we usually all are, I am, you're like, oh shit, I really got to go out and talk to those people. When you do it with like, okay, I'm going to go out and make everyone feel beautiful, even if I say anything or not, that's my mission, and it does work. And then you feel great because you've got a reason to be there.
It's all that heart connecting stuff, isn't it? So it's like coming from a place of doing random acts of kindness all the time.
As much as you can. There was a girl on the way down here at the motorway service who was really pretty. She was serving coffee in the Starbucks thing. And I noticed her, she was really, I thought, wow, you're a beautiful woman you are. Like, you know, unusually so. And I thought, that's what I thought about her. So I could give that to her as a gift. I didn't want her. It wasn't like I was trying to like manipulate her attention towards me. But as she gave me the coffee, I said, "You're a beautiful woman." And she said, "Oh, thank you," because you could see it wasn't uncommon. She goes, "Oh, thank you." And then I walked out straight away. I wasn't going to get involved in it more. And it really, you could see that is something that will probably stay with her for the rest of her life. And every time she feels a bit like, oh, am I ugly? And she'll go, no, actually, that guy just says to me, I'm a beautiful woman. And she'll remember that. Yeah. It's just gifts that we give each other.
Yeah, I think that's a really lovely way to be.
So I've just spent 7 months making the most amazing musical project I've ever worked on, producing. I'm not the front man, I'm not performing in it at all.
Yeah, it's a bit of a secret, isn't it?
Yeah, but soon will come out and everyone will know about it. It really is like the most amazing music I've personally ever heard. But I mean, that's because I'm probably... But no, you know, some of the key DJs around the world, because I'm sending it out, they're all saying it's super cool. So I'm quite excited about
that. Yeah,
that.
definitely. And you were also saying on the earlier Chi Time interview that you feel like there's a real resurgence, a renaissance in creativity coming through at the moment.
There is.
In the dance,
Yeah.
dance music scene.
Well, because of the young kids. Well, kids. I mean, young guys, young people. It is mostly guys, funny enough. But I don't know why. It's still quite boy dominated. But from that 16 years old up to about 30, that kind of range, there's some talent out there, man. Really amazing. They are doing stuff that is unbelievable.
And so are they just tuning into this natural medicinal effects of music without sort of knowing it because it feels right?
I don't know, it was actually medicinal.
Well, no, I'm bringing it back to the...
Necessarily, it's exciting.
Music is your medicine, so you do things that make you feel good, and they just happen to be resonating at the frequencies that science tells you, or you...
Yeah, but weirdly, I have a really close friend called Jackie with Skills, who's a very big DJ, especially in Britain. He's a ninja, he wears a black mask, nobody knows what he looks like, and he does this wild set where he's got this incredible stage and he does all these mad moves, and there's these samples of different famous hip-hop guys shouting things out. And it looks like he's saying it because he's got the mask and you can't tell. People know it's not him because it's all different, but they think it is him. And they respond as if it's him calling out. It's really fun. So it's quite a young audience. And the music is very, like really aggressive, horrible, jarring. Like, oh, and a lot in all of it. But I tell you, the atmosphere that it generates within 20 minutes is the most loving, supportive, warm atmosphere I have ever encountered. Much more even than the hippie days. Much more than if you go to like a new age thing, they go, okay, everybody, open your heart, be loving to everybody. This is totally different. It's like, no, I'm going to rebel, I don't care about anything. And in that doing of that, they seem to rise above the normal level of human experience and become so kind. And like, for an old geezer like me walking around, these kids are just smiling, going, hey man, like as if I'm one of them, instead of like, what's an old guy like you doing here? You know, that kind of.
But I'm wondering if that feeling, almost like it's an aggressive energy, that once you express it and get it out, then you can access a higher...
Exactly. Once you've acknowledged it.
Yeah,
because a lot of it,
instead of hiding from it.
It's fear. I think people feel a lot of fear of being oppressed by government, by electronic surveillance, by everything, and bottle it a lot. If you get that, oh, no, I'm right above this, we're free, we're powerful, it doesn't even matter. Somehow there's some kind of epiphany occurs in the group, despite the sound almost. That's quite an interesting thing I've noticed as well. But I don't do that. I don't like noisy. I like kind of beautiful and groovy and funky and like stuff that makes you kind of get your shoulders doing that. That stuff that I can't.
That's a shimmy, isn't it?
The shimmy thing. I love that. The side thing and it gets you sexy dancing. I love that.
It's just Look, brilliant. Thank you so much.
I hope that was some useful information. It sounded like me just having a big bear, but it was fun.
That's what you do best.
What bear?
Yeah. You're going to be doing some more of it.
Dr. Blah Blah.
So if people want to find out more about you, what is the...
They can't, I don't want to tell them. No, leave me alone. Come to my website and they won't find out much because well, they will. But I keep most of myself secret. barefootdoctorworld.com.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. I'm actually really quite jealous of my privacy these days. I don't really say much about what I'm doing anymore. Now everyone else is on Facebook, I don't really do it. I kind of don't tell anybody anything much about
But people want to find out what you're up to and the range of things, because you have great online courses, you've got books, you've got the satsangs on the Sundays, I was saying, so there's really a range for everyone.
And I'm thinking of starting to sell kisses for £50 each on the forehead.
All right.
Yeah, you bring your own wet wipes. You go like that, like that, one after that. Yeah.
How much is a snog then?
No, I don't do snogs. This is like in line with Amma, the hugging mama.
Yes,
and that guy, the guy from Croatia, he sells a gaze. I can't remember his name. He sells you these gaze. Yeah, cool though. So I'm gonna sell kisses.
Like, keep it so simple. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll be looking forward to some music medicine coming through from your camp very soon.
Soon?
More, yeah, even more.
What a lovely, lovely interview-ess you are.
Oh, thank you. Most kindly, most graciously.
Yeah.
Speak to you again soon, I hope. Thank you so much.
Thanks for
your time. Yeah, thank you.